On August 20th, Arirang TV hosted a special program titled K-pop, The Next Chapter, which explored the South Korean government's cultural policy direction with President Lee Jae Myung himself. Now today, we want to delve into the current status and future prospects for K-pop, which still makes up a large portion of the global K-wave trend. And we're going to do that with music critic Kim Youngdae, who happened to be one of the 6 panel members of that special show last month and is joining us in the studio today. Welcome, Youngdae.
Hi, Youngdae.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Last time we met on Arirang Radio,
Right,
but
right.
first time on the Culture Wave.
Yeah, at the time it was very casual.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can be
Today's
casual
pretty
today
casual
as
too.
well.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. It feels still unreal. You said my name right next to President Lee Jae Myung.
Right.
Yeah, it's unreal.
I can imagine.
Anyway, yeah.
And I mean, I have to also mention that when the Culture Wave launched, I immediately thought of you having a K-pop expert,
Oh,
and
thank you.
especially
Wow.
you, Youngdae. And we did arrange a date, and that's today. But then a couple of weeks ago, I see you on Arirang TV next to the president, next to Twice.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, is he actually going to make it to our program? So you must be really busy these days. So how have you been?
Yeah, I've been pretty busy. You said earlier that a celebrity expert.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
No?
Yeah, maybe relatively well-known
Of course.
expert for music critic. Oh yeah, this is really a fun time, exciting time to talk about culture, especially talk about the culture that I've been enjoying, as Korean since I was a kid. And I've never imagined this kind of thing would happen, especially in this kind of global stage.
Right.
And, of course, never imagined that, Sony Pictures, Netflix, this global studio, top tier producer would produce something about Korea and Korean music. Yeah, this is surreal. And I checked the billboard this morning, and you know what? As a music critic, I tend to check this chart, weekly chart, weekly. Sounds redundant anyway. And we have 4 songs from the OST, KPop Demon Hunters, on the
Yes.
top 10.
Yeah.
And it was first time since I don't know, you guys remember the movie Waiting to Exhale, featuring Whitney Houston?
Oh.
I think I do remember. We're in the
Maybe
same
not.
generation, right?
I'm old enough remembering that. And since Saturday Night Fever, so this soundtrack actually surpassed that
Wow.
record.
Wow.
So I don't know where to start, but I think it's definitely music. It's the killer. It makes you. Not just it makes you want to watch the movie, but it actually, because I heard you singing earlier
Oh,
on the studio.
were we?
Yeah, you were singing. You
Right,
you
whenever
were
the
singing.
music
We
comes
always
in the
sing.
background.
Whenever music
We
kicks
hum
in,
too,
you were like
yeah.
da. Yeah, it's actually the biggest reason. It's the good music, not just good music. It's fantastic music. But the thing is, especially Golden, it makes you wanna sing.
It does.
Right? And it makes you want to hit that high note,
Note.
that highest note.
Exactly.
If you nail it, you feel you're rewarded
proud,
with
yeah.
some sort.
Right.
So, and the story, absolutely. But the thing about the story is, it doesn't really tell you any specific agenda. It doesn't really impose you anything in particular. I think it's a really important thing because kids are watching. Youth, they're watching. If you think about things too deeply, it's already failure. You watch, you enjoy, and that's it. Then you rewatch and you enjoy. Then you find something that's relevant to your life or society. Then you realize, oh, this is not just ordinary, cartoon or animation. It is actually deep. Then you started to love more
Right,
deeply.
and that's when you watch it again and again, I
Yeah.
guess, because
And you can't stop.
the first time you just watch it because it's so fun, and
Exactly.
then you want to see more of the
Yeah.
details inside the movie.
Yeah, and kudos to Maggie Kang. It's so much detail, so many impressive things.
Right.
I'm not sure, I don't know whether actually any Korean directors or producer or writers would put that much detail in one movie, and especially powered by the Western capital. It is very ambitious and very detailed. It actually passed all the criteria, from music critic, music fans, or any Koreans.
Or the president.
He kept talking about food, and very important, right? You have to be really accurate on food, culture, and music. Those things all combined are the reasons.
All of these combined factors is why we are still talking about K-pop Demon Hunters, and we still have news coming out today. I mean, Bella talked about the HUNTR's voices going to be presenters at the MTV VMAs. So we still keep talking about it, and there is a reason for it.
Definitely.
Did you know that actually HUNTR is going to be the first girl group that reached the #1 on Billboard since Destiny's Child?
Since Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
Right.
But
We reported on that before,
But isn't it weird to say that the HUNTR would be the first girl group since the Destiny's Child? Two different things, right? Humans, characters, but we're living in a different world.
Definitely.
We are.
So, Youngdae, as a person working in the K-pop industry, what implications do you believe the success of this K-pop Demon Hunters has in K-pop market as a whole?
Oh, so many, so much. I think one big implication is that, well, let me be honest, K-pop has been there for many years, like 2 decades, 3 decades, depending on how you define K-pop. But it actually opened up the new possibility, especially in the mainstream market. Only thing that makes K-pop maybe less appealing to the general audience is that K-pop sometimes can be too like subculture. You have to understand something to understand the next thing. It's maybe that's the reason why K-pop has so many like hardcore fans, but that was the reason why it never reached the mainstream level, I think. Maybe there are some other reasons. But this one actually proves that the potential of K-pop and K-culture as a mainstream thing. For me, that doesn't really mean anything because I was always fan and I was always an expert of this culture. But for those who never really pay attention to the culture, the music, never listen to the K-pop, especially this new fans of K-pop Demon Hunters, they kept rewatching this over and over every morning, every afternoon, but they never really paid attention to the K-pop before. And now they know, not just music, the culture as well. So its implication is huge, but I think that the mainstream possibility, the whole new market, is absolutely the biggest thing. And the second thing is bandwagoning. I mean, everybody, they want to try to recreate this thing and reproduce this kind of phenomenon, one film or another. I expect many more K-pop Demon Hunter kind of movies, feature movies or animation in the future. Yeah, there's a lot of competition there.
It looks like really this one film opened up the opportunities for a wider public that is interested not only in this specific movie, but K-pop itself.
Yeah.
So let's delve deeper into K-pop. So K-pop Demon Hunters, it centers around Korean culture, but it's made by an overseas production, as we mentioned before. And we also have that within the K-pop industry. For instance, we have a dozen of music creators working on one song. For instance, Rose's Apatu, for instance, we have many people from Korea and abroad working on that one single song. And then we have also K-pop groups where none of the members are Korean. So we have very unique things going on. But to what extent can we call all of that K-pop? Would you have a definition for K-pop today?
Yeah, this might be the hardest question
I
ever.
know.
But the thing is, the scope, the realm, and the definition of K-pop is changing, and would be changing in the future as well. Because K-pop, the word K-pop, come to think of it, it doesn't really mean anything, right? It's just Korean pop music, but by whom, of whom, by which? It's really difficult to define K-pop in a single sentence or some several words. So now K-pop can be different things. K-pop, maybe it's a local pop music scene or market, or it can be the music or the genre or the template can influence others to create something like it. It's like the kind of pan-Korean market or pan-Asian or the global market which is trying to sort of like make something that was heavily influenced by K-pop or K-culture. Is it K-pop? I don't even know, but why not? I think we're in that kind of situation right now. We don't know, but why not? It's a possibility. And talking about K-pop Demon Hunters, technically, yes, Netflix and Sony Pictures movie, but we are talking about two different things. Cultural product, industry, then culture. They're not exactly the same thing. They're overlapping with each other in some realm, but culture is very it can be applied to anything. It's a very convertible. It is very very malleable, right? And cultural product is definitely there's a definition of who made it, by whom, which company. So in the narrow definition, may not be the K-cultural product, but it's definitely K-pop and K-culture because it deals with Korean culture very accurately, and there are lots of portion animators, creators, especially music producers. They're all Korean or pan-Korean.
Right.
So why not? It's a different situation in a different context. And with a different meaning, so
why not?
Yeah, why not?
Kind of on a similar note, during K-pop The Next Chapter, you've mentioned that the dichotomy or the divide between global and Korea does not really apply anymore in this era today. So could you kind of elaborate on this statement that you've mentioned?
Yeah, I don't even know why I said that. I don't know. I'm just joking. Well, in the past, when I was a kid, there's definitely those are definitely two different things. Global. But isn't it weird? Because whenever we say global, we tend to think of Western, American, European. That, for me, for us, for a lot of Koreans at the time, was global. And Korean is very specifically Korean. So those were the two different things. But now we're living in a already globalized, modernized, modern Korea. Sounds redundant again. Anyway, so the global Korea, local Korea doesn't really, not two different things, right? So, like Bong Joon-ho said in Oscar, most personal, most universal, same thing. Most Korean, why not? It couldn't be most universal. In a right time, in the right moment, definitely. I think the problem, the only thing that we want to know more about this situation is that how we make this momentum, how we make this momentum to be continued in the future.
And speaking of that, actually, this continues to our question that's related to that. Director Maggie Kang actually said that there are no limits to cultural
ambitious.
content, Korean cultural content. So what do you say about K-pop? Can it expand further?
Yeah, I think it's already happening. You mentioned earlier that the K-pop groups which has no Korean members, they're not active in Korean local markets. So, as definition changes, I think the scope and the possibility definitely changes. And now, maybe this sounds dangerous. I think that this is probably the kind of dangerous comment, but if you want this culture to be globalized and universal, we have to face the fact that it cannot be no longer solely Korean. As for a lot of music genres like hip hop, bossa nova, we know the origin, right? But we no longer tend to think of that as a local culture of certain regions of certain culture. It's important historically, but now it's everybody's culture. K-pop's at this point is, slightly moving toward that direction. The problem is that how we manage that, whether we can control that kind of trend. I oftentimes I compare this situation to a lot of other like local cultures. Like, have you watched Buena Vista Social Club? The Cuban music scene, it's absolutely killer. But Cuba never really successfully took advantage of that success of the movie. But in Brazil, it's a different game. I mean, bossa nova. Right now, everybody's listening bossa nova in the spring and in the fall. But talking about money and the company, I believe that American record company had more money than the local Brazilian musician, using bossa nova. But that's not a really important thing here. Bossa nova, has become a global music.
And now we can do that with K-pop and Korean culture.
I hope so.
Okay.
But in that situation, K-pop is no longer just Korean culture.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I wish we could talk hours about this topic. And that's all the time we have today. Youngdae, thank you very much for your insights. We hope to have you again soon in the studio to talk more about K-pop and
I'll
beyond.
come back.
Thank you, Youngdae.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to see you back here tomorrow.
Yes, I'll see you back tomorrow.